Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty expensive. It's. How did you get your work? It's more of
The cards instead. Like, and let's do some gratitude. Let's get about 3 of these. Anybody have any? Thank anybody? Thanks to Kate for giving me a lead on one of her listings that we just settled today.
I'll thank Huddle because he did a last minute showing for me and pissed his wife off. Yeah.
Hard.
But like, appreciate us scratching each other's for sure.
Real estate branded, but today is the 5-month birthday of the real estate.
That's great. Mine was already filed. Strategic.
Thanks, James. When house I picked up the starting, so we're doing.
What else? Let's get a couple more. We cranked it out pretty fast. I liked it. Let's start this off with a lot of positivity as we go into our slides here. Any more? Couple more. Jordan? Yes, Mr. Positivity and Hankins.
Well, I just wanted to shout out, you got a nice haircut, look at that, something
Yeah.
like that.
For transition. All stacked together, we're here. Got it, took a little feed and. It was great, so, what else? Any more?
Yeah, shout out for Dave for letting me use the Gettysburg office.
Well, we can be, it's cold in there.
I wasn't sure if you were,
Put me in one in there.
yeah,
It was,
I wasn't sure if you were coming.
I mean, that's the work.
I know, I'm trying to.
Shout out.
Don't say that out loud.
His birthday today.
You rebrand.
Open 997.
Don't need to go to family reunion to experience something new.
Are you recovered yet? It took me like 2 weeks for the 3-hour delay, and then they nailed us again with the daylight savings. I'm all messed up. But yeah, Vegas was something for sure. Anyone else? That's great. I think that's the record amount of thank yous and gratitudes. that I've ever heard.
Mr. T on the.
Yeah. Don't. Dave and a couple of us don't Vegas in there. Let Eric laugh to call him lowercase Mr. T. But no, it's funny. I got a picture with him. I'm not gonna put that up there.
He took a picture with us and then he went like this.
Nothing good happened. Alright, belief system.
They do the right thing.
Commitment in all things.
Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, creative ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more.
Trust,
I think
start
that-
with honesty.
Equity, opportunities for all.
Expense results for people.
Awesome. Yeah, we talked about these every 5 years. This is our belief system. This is why we want our agents to be very personally and professionally, creates a great cultural environment. So we talk about these all the time, something to remember. All right, so I'll explain this a little bit more, but so that we go through state of the company. February was a little rough. I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of us kind of felt that. 94 closed units, that's fortunately the lowest we've done since January 19. But these are the numbers. We gotta talk about them. We gotta be honest about them. None of us here want to think about other jobs. So we're all gonna be pushing for March, going into this spring market. But those were our numbers for the month. The gaps are unfortunately, we're going through a transition with our back end counting system. We were fortunate enough to be one of 7 that were requested in the United States to be transitioning over. Now with that, there are some glitches, and that's what happened. Listing stations sold volume unfortunately didn't come in. We'll look for them to correct that over the course of the next couple of months. But I'm not sure where we were. I was trying to figure it out manually. And then after 15 minutes, I was like, this isn't gonna work. So that's our number. Productivity, let's celebrate our newer agents and what they've done. I give this over to James. Go ahead.
So Brandy, February was kind of a light month. I think it was a light month for everybody. So Brandy had a closing at 95,000. In Vegas, and I was getting calls about this one. She just put under for 210. And then Malik, who's not here, just got his first. He's hitting the. I mean, he's writing contracts. Probably he wrote one on Ryan's.
Seller backed out. They have settlements. That probably is good. They even get it.
No, so I mean, he got this. He's been writing offers pretty much every week for his clients. So he's really killing it.
Oh, and then we had some first deals. Okay.
Yeah.
On the Jeff and Seth team, and Ashley Waters, who's on dating. First deal, that gets you over the hump. And go back to you.
Real quick, you're not gonna see a slide for PC Night Out. We're not gonna be doing one this month in April because of the happy hour.
About it.
So we're not doing one in April. Last month, we only had like 4 people come, so we're probably gonna take a couple months off.
We are having a KW happy hour in April 25th. We'll get that calendar laid out at Heritage. So that's kind of what we're working against.
So again, still working on trying to get people to, join the company. Growth, the biggest way we can do that is by getting new agents in. I know Brian's here to get some cards. That's the only reason why you came today, right? Yeah. So I have cards again for you guys to hand out to people who are looking to get into real estate, for teams who want to build their teams. It's a great opportunity. So
We had 30 people in January, about 15.
it's on the slide.
You got the next. Getting ahead of myself. There's the case score.
Yep.
There you go.
So 15, our goal every month is 15. So in February, we had 15 people sign up. March, we're currently at 10, and I believe we've got maybe 1 or 2 more just from today. We're gonna be getting. So anybody looking to get into a career in real estate, come see me, grab some cards. I got plenty.
So here. The way, I use this as an advantage to getting business for yourself. Like, you meet somebody, a roof, you have a roof, say, hey, you ever do roofs and people saying we're getting their house ready for sale? Yeah. I said, get your license. Refer them to me or help them out, get your license, maybe you have to go on report or whatever. Make 25% or something like that on a deal that I can pay you, because I legally can't pay you unless you're a real estate agent and you're affiliated. And they're like, it's a good idea. So it's not just becoming an agent, it's telling people they can make money on real estate in many different ways, but they have to have a license and affiliation to do it.
Yep. Agreed.
Next week,
Yeah, this one has April in it, but go ahead.
Yeah. next week, start our career night. So it's always going to be the 4th Tuesday of every month from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock here. So remember that for Tuesday of next week, the 26th, I believe that is. We're having a career night. It's going to be our first one. If you know of anybody that's looking to maybe start, or you have people who just kind of want to find out, text me. I'm kind of coming up with a new system that's going to kind of be like this to kind of register people for it. So I know how many people are coming and how much to be prepared for. But we're going to, I don't know how long, I've only been here a year. Actually, that's my anniversary. So I don't know if you guys did these before.
Tim John used to do them kind of right around my transition, so, but I'm not.
Yeah. So I want to get back into it because again, we're really, the ALC's a big goal of our, this year's growth. So I want to get back into that. So if you have anybody that's just wants to find out, doesn't want to just join K-Score, but wants to find out what it takes to be an agent and about the Keller Williams opportunity, that's what we're doing. So this coming Tuesday from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock here. Perfect.
Oh, we have a lot of March birthdays. I'm not gonna go through, who here has a March birthday? Can you raise your hand? Do it this way. Alright, happy birthday, guys. In June, but they create the March, but holy crap. All right, welcome to KW. We have a couple of new people here. Chelsea, she couldn't make it in, at this point, but I know she's on Zoom. Mary Glover is sitting over here in the corner. They're from Berkshire, I believe. I don't know where James, right? Berkshire?
Yeah.
Yes. Kev, he's coming on with the Jeremy Tolley group. And then Bill's back. And so he threw his license in escrow a little bit. And business started coming all of a sudden. Now he's back. So he took a little 30-day break and sometimes you gotta hit that pause button and all of a sudden business finds itself. It's like when you go on vacation, all of a sudden you guys get busy. So,
Yeah, man.
so welcome. All right, Tom, Mike. Martha Mitchell, welcome back, and you hit number 2. Trisha, I think yeah, she's here. Trisha's back on the board, number 3 in volume. And hey, Burgess. Months of this been? It's been like a year. You don't keep track of that. Be interesting. Ferocious. And then Nate Johnson, and then teams, Colby and Neil take volume. Liz brings out the 2nd, Dave Monsor group 3rd, Jeff and Seth team on 4th, Jeremy Tolley group. And then on the unit side, Liz gets the units, Colby and Neil, Dave Monsor, Lane Thrush team, and Jeremy Tolley. So congratulations, guys. You guys didn't see a downturn in your one. That's good. All right, so Andrew is gonna go over some details that we're gonna start to talk a little bit about. He's got some creative ideas coming in.
Don't know about creative, don't oversell it.
All right. He's still gonna get to the closing tape.
What button do I hit to progress?
Do you have slides?
I do? Okay. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Just hit that, right there, sensitive, scary stuff.
So, look, I've been doing this 21 years. Like, all we've seen is change. I'm gonna dive into the commission stuff a little bit. 2007, we saw some of the greatest market changes we've ever seen come through, sweeping like a tidal wave. The market became 50% distressed properties basically overnight. As we moved through the next 5 years, realtors had to adapt. Many of them became REO experts, short sale experts. They learned how to just navigate the distressed property market. Fast forward to 2019. Barrier to entry for first-time home buyers started rising very rapidly. Properties became less negotiable. Seller help became less of a thing. As we moved through COVID, rates dropped into the 2s. Everything became multiple offers, no inspections, price escalations, and appraisal gaps. At the time, I didn't even know what it was. I don't think anybody did. Seller help, like what? Now you're paying the seller's fees, right? Realtors adapted. As we move into the first major commission change I've seen in my lifetime for agents, the only thing that's certain is that you must adapt. The best agents always adapt. They know what they can do and they can't do from the lending side. They know what they can do and can't do from the legal side. So here's where I can help. We've been through these changes. In lending from 2007 to 2012, we saw sweeping changes from financial regulation to full compensation override on our side. So what you're about to experience, we've been there. over the next few years, millions and millions of dollars of real estate are going to be sold. This is that implementation of that bill that basically wrecked my side of the business and helped in a lot of ways. Many agents are gonna have the best years of their career moving forward. This is where it gets tricky. Change happens, there begins to be a divide between those who can adapt and those who refuse. Those who demonstrate value are going to win. My advice is run towards that change. Understand what you can and can't do from a legal standpoint moving forward. Look at all angles, ask questions, show your value. Ask me lending questions. Specifically, you need to know intricate detail on interested party contributions because we're gonna have to get creative regarding commissions. I fully expect to see changes on the lending side, but the one thing that's certain about the mortgage industry is it's very reactionary. They react to trends. They're not proactive. I don't expect to see change from them until we're in the middle of it. That all being said, if there's things I can specifically help with, let me know. I do have a document that goes over all the interested party contributions for all loan types. The one that I think we'll struggle with the most is VA because, you know, technically a buyer can't be charged commission. Again, like I said, I'll pass this out, run towards this, get as much information as you can on the lending side. If you guys have questions, I'm here to help. But this is a hot topic. You got 4 months to adapt, and I think if you're adapt, you'll be here to stay, you know? Questions for me?
We talked about this a little bit, so in the creativity side of things. You're saying that other than VA, you
Yep.
think that most of these loan programs will be able to absorb maybe the difference of what we're not receiving on the buyer side within the cost. The sellers could end up paying us still.
For the last 4 years, I mean, there's been very little seller help. But you still have the ability to put interested party contributions in the loan, which seller help to pay commission, you know? So I just feel like, you know, like adapt, be creative. I think you gotta look at all angles. I'll pass these sheets out. I think if you guys have questions on it, feel free to reach out to me, but I honestly think that if you adapt to this and pay attention, train yourself, get trained up, then like demonstrate value, I think you're gonna thrive. But I think it's those who are fearful and don't deal with it, you know, that it's gonna be hard for you, you know? 21 years, like in the mortgage industry, the worst changes we saw were from 2007 to 2012. It was like one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. It was diabolical, you know? And the only thing that we do is do more, like try to dig in, try to learn more, do more, figure it out, be proactive. So the commission changes are a big thing. You got a couple months to adapt, but I think what you're gonna see is a lot of people are gonna be rolling them into the front side of the transaction. Is that what you guys are hearing from the legal side?
Well, and I think things are going to develop over time, but I think it's great that you're sharing this with us because you gotta get creative with numbers. It's gonna come up, numbers is mortgage, right? And so we're gonna be working together very closely with our lenders over the course of time to make sure that we're not taking massive decreases on the buyer end and their commission. So and I'm gonna get into this a little bit more. This is a great segue, but any other questions from the mortgage stuff?
Are you gonna provide trainings or can you?
Yeah.
Like maybe one closer to now and then inform,
I'm happy to jump in a room and
or
like,
than just this, cause it's like a million questions.
Yeah.
so from the 10,000 foot view, they're still like, hey,
Right,
like. Tar and Bar and Maryland, like they gotta run and document and draw documents and. You know, I think once a lot of that happens, you'll be able to answer some questions.
I think we sit really well in Pennsylvania. Don't forget 25 years ago, so before got
My
into business, you know, there was no buyer agency. It was all for sellers. And so, you know, that was a huge transition. So we're ahead of the curve in a lot of ways that other states aren't. So just use the.
Yeah, it's not doom and gloom.
Use the forms we.
I think Andrew's code, did you write that? You wrote that?
Oh.
That's pretty good. I mean, you gotta, You better get that out there and like, put it on the inside. But, yeah, I think that's something. The one thing that's constant in real estate is change, right? So like we only can switch over to people because you only adapt to it, educate yourself and create the solutions. If you get like, we'll go into this here. So you can. And then we do more. Yeah, yeah. So he has very. Guys, Bill, hold on, hang on, let's bring it back in. He has very few of these, but what we'll do is we'll scan that in as a PDF. We'll make sure we get it out through email, Facebook page. Just make sure that you guys will have a copy of it. This is from the seller side of things. So kind of going off of that, we have classes coming up. Let's talk about the events. I'll talk a little bit more. Tomorrow is our award ceremony at Never Country Club celebrating our 2023 top producers. Next week, next Tuesday, I know it's contract class, but we're gonna really focus around the NAR stuff. I think it's perfect timing. Peter Ruth is coming to join us. It was about contracts. We'll do that again at a later time. I think a lot of his time is gonna be spent around that. It's the best way to get some valuable information from our board attorney. Be here, please be here on Zoom. We're gonna record it. Make sure you're reviewing it. This is where we go back, educate yourself. You've got 4 months to pretty much get yourself ready to go once this change happens. A lot's gonna develop over the next 4 months. So as things develop, we're gonna be bringing into Abby's point, more training. People like Andrew from the lending side, maybe you bring Peter Ruth back. If we get anybody else, we're gonna bring them in and we're gonna make sure that you guys are educated and trained as things evolve. Yes.
And there's a class that Gary Keller, Jason and Jay
Me too.
did, that they're
How
gonna,
About that,
that's
so,
free also.
I think a couple people did already, Belinda said she did it once.
I did it.
I think those are
Do it
gonna, so
again.
we have, there's actually one on the 26th, right after Peter. Then you see we have one on the 10th, and then the 25th. I think there's another one somewhere in there. The conversations that they're gonna have in there are gonna evolve as well, because again, things are gonna continuously come out. What I can tell you, please, 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 do not listen to the negative media. All you're gonna do is drive yourself insane. You're gonna spiral out of control, and real estate's not gonna be any fun for you. You'll start thinking about other things. Please do not listen to that's the one failure of social media, the TikTok, all that, the news articles. They're not the real estate professionals. They're just reading things, taking their own assumptions and creating it into their own words of opinion. Please don't dive into that. We will get you the factual details. We will bring the professionals in, we will bring the leadership in, and we will educate you guys over the next few months. That's what I can guarantee you. How does that sound? Is that good? I want to make sure we're not ignoring this. I know you're starting to see a lot of people get ahead of it. Like, as much as I want to talk about for the next hour, 2 hours about what this is, things are gonna change. So as we get the information, we're gonna want to bring that to you guys. This is gonna be the most important time to bring back your attendance of educating, gaining knowledge, reading, comprehending, and asking questions. Because the ones that aren't are gonna be the ones caught with their pants down in July, and then they're gonna be coming back, well, what do I do with this? Where were you the last 3 months when we've had all these classes? So I prefer, hopefully, we don't have to have those conversations. But again, I want you guys to be here. We do the Zoom, we do the recording, we do that for your benefit for the ones that can't be in person. I get it. But please make sure you educate yourself. And if you have anything else to add, like if there's another person that you think would be great standing here in front of you guys, please let me know. I'm all about the leveraging, getting a positive personal spin on it. That way they can stand up here and make you guys better as it's and up to.
For everybody who can come to that class, that contract class.
Great, thanks. I hope everybody, I mean, if you're not, you're in Zoom.
Tuesday.
The 26th.
Yeah.
Yeah, 26th.
Here's my request. Everybody who has their hand up, there's what, like 40 people in here, would you say? Can everybody bring somebody that's not in this room? That's almost
Not
how
only
I
from
read.
here, I agree, like, if other brokerages aren't educating their agents, this is the best time for a recruiting method too. Like, let's pour into others that aren't, and show our value as Keller Williams and in York. But I love that. Thank you so much. Everybody here has influence over a small group of people in those cases, right? 5 to 6 agents, some may be here, some may not be. If you're leading and you're asking people to come, they will show us.
This might be a good opportunity to reach out to our Berkshire friends.
That's this percent.
Who have not been included in this issue. And so they will probably be caving soon at the upper end of that. But for right now, this could potentially be a good opportunity.
Berkshire.
Sure, that part, I'm stick to the read, let me.
I had the opportunity a couple days ago to speak to the past president of the PAR. Because I really love his thoughts. And one thought that he, and there are 2 thoughts that actually came from him that I found very important. And I said something just now to Seth. Guys, if you would, make certain that you get the buyer's agency signed before you show one house. Get a negotiation up and sign. Make sure there is a total meeting of the minds for a sales commission and for how long that you will work for them. That's really important. The second thing is, we had our huge discussion about commissions. I don't want to go there now.
Yeah, I don't wanna get too.
But I can-
People know that we're here, we're bringing the educational value.
Exactly.
Thank you. Yeah, that is, yes, yeah, that's gonna be very, very important moving forward. Jordan?
Regarding the contract class, not just, I'm not asking for myself, but for everybody, well, are we allowed to, to encourage to get maybe other brokerages, agents involved and invite them as well? Are we allowed to post that on our Facebook page? Like,
Let's see any reason behind, I see,
I have other.
I see the company's already like using that as like, what's your company doing for you?
Sure.
Come over to us, like, so, I mean, I don't wanna have that. I don't want to think that negative, but yeah,
It's like, hey, we offer this.
Yeah.
If
And
anyone from any
of all people, you can script it probably the best with your positive spin, so, yeah. Wow, we don't want to create a recruiting, again, it's about educating, because you're gonna be working with these people too, so you don't want to be carrying the whole process, the transaction. Maybe they see the value. That's just a win in that case, but I think if we're providing value to people that we see as peers, as somebody that we respect, and they may be with another company, other agents, other companies. And I would love to make sure that they understand what this is. And if they see the value that we're bringing and they want to join, great, awesome. But if not, at least, hey, moving forward, you know, that person's educated and that there's somebody that when you work with them, you're gonna have a good smooth transaction. So I think you raise your hand.
Me?
Yeah, sorry. Yes,
Okay,
okay.
I talked about my event.
Oh, yes, thank you for the reminder.
Last time I forgot. So some of you know, a lot of you know, everywhere. My son Kevin is on 3 years survivor of brain injury. So last November, we did our first Bruise for Brains. Raised about $3,700. We're doing one in April 6th. Emily's Toy Box is still back doing it. We've already raised $3,800 with sponsorships, thanks to Ryan and Hometown Settlements for sponsoring us. We have 50-50 chances. We have gift baskets. Lowe's gave us a $400 grill to give away. We have over $600 gift cards. I mean, we got a lot going on. It's called the Iron Lion now. It's called Public Out in the Markets. I have a website. If you go to Bruce or Brains Hanover on Facebook, I have a QR code there where you can donate $5. I don't care. It was $5 donation at the door. My goal is to raise $10,000. And that's not gonna be the end of, I have a little bit of passion for fundraising, all the things, and I'm gonna work with that, but yeah, I mean, if you can make it, great, if you want a table, you need to reserve for Emily's Toy Box, we had 350 people there. And people didn't even know about the event, they were like, "Ah." I mean, Ryan, you're crazy.
So we had a good showing. I'd love to continue to support Jeff and this benefit. I guarantee you're gonna outgrow that space. Maybe you come to the festival one day, but. Events are tough, but, yeah, it's great. It'd be great to, again, help another KW agent, whether you want to donate or if you can show up to support it. You said that's the April 6th, and if you want to stick around,
Doors open till.
they have good food too, so get a reservation, he'll hook you up. Anything else I'm missing on events before we move forward? Everybody good with the upcoming training stuff? Okay, we'll just read your emails, watch your Facebook posts. That's where the information is gonna be coming from, because I don't know how else to, I don't know, I have 180 calls in me every week, but that's how we're gonna get the trainings out to you. Just please watch for that, interact, and listen if you have any questions and feedback. Roxanne, I know did you want to talk about this a little bit? This is something that you were.
Yeah, this is, REACT DEI. We're doing this event on May 3rd. It's a potluck lunch. We would like everybody to attend. Bring something from, we want it to be like multicultural food. So something maybe that your grandparents were from another country, they made, or, so it's from 11:30 to 1:30. It's in the REAC office. And we really hope that a lot attend.
Thank you. Edwin's too busy. We've given him so much business now. The guy who doesn't attend these anymore. But I told him I'm gonna start throwing a slide in for him. All right, let's see. We're gonna do this again. How many people have used Edwin? Your hand has gone up. Edwin is his attention to detail. I mean, it shows. He even did this. I didn't even know. It was a nice surprise. These are only a few of the 20-some pictures that he came to the office one day, did some nice photographs of the office. I don't know if he cleaned when he did it because. Right, I mean, he did this so we could start presenting even what our office is. Guy does a phenomenal job. I think he's gonna grow faster than he expects. He already is, and he'll start having to leverage out to some additional people. So, see Edwin, he's doing an awesome job. Let's do it again. How many people use Hometown? More. See, we're gonna get everybody in here. But Amanda, there she is. Amanda is in-house for York, and Brooke handles a lot out with the Gettysburg, Hanover, and they travel too. So if you want to try a new title company out, we're getting some great reviews with Hometown. All right, first of our two speakers. I think most of you know him.
So I don't have Harkins Trump on
The poem.
time. I definitely didn't do a haiku. But just time in the business. Sorry, I didn't realize I should have sent my slides a little sooner. I'll just at least for the people that can't see them, throw them right there. But man, this is my 18th year in the insurance business, and I met Harkins in 2007. And so there has been a lot of change since then. There's been a ton of change in the insurance business, and there's more. Anyone in particular have something that they just had on their mind with insurance that I should make sure I address today? Anybody?
Our premiums keep going up. So.
Thing,
Yeah, which part?
well, like, how they're getting stricter on the age of the
Yeah.
roof, and how you can do that insurance if they renew the roof within the first month.
So, just quick reason why I'm here and why we spend a lot of our time around the real estate transaction process. is because that's what our agency is primarily focused on, the real estate transaction. And in doing so, representing, over 2 dozen companies to kind of tailor what suits the best policy to put in place for a particular property. And so we do set ourselves apart from the typical insurance agency in that way, where we do tailor our process to your process. Specifically, what sets us apart from like captive agencies is captive agencies are representing one company. And so what you get when you call them is what you get. If you don't like the price, you're either changing coverage or changing deductibles. And in doing so, you either make out with less coverage or make out the higher deductible, which isn't advantageous all the time. And I just wanted to kind of speak a little bit about the current insurance market that we're in right now. It is by many calculations the hardest insurance market that we've seen since the 70s. And in my 18-year career, obviously, the hardest insurance market in my career. There are a ton of things that kind of led to this. Car insurance premiums in particular are up 20%. That's almost at a minimum. My team and I had just hired Laura Foster. She is building her own network as well. And she's out there, taking people to coffee, lunch, trying to show her value in the industry too. But one of the reasons that I brought Laura on primarily is to help with our current client base. And we're reshopping more people's insurance right now than we ever have, ever. And so instead of just being the agency that's like, hey, sorry, you got to deal with it. We're being proactive and looking at those 30 days out and seeing how we can get ahead of these rate changes for people and, doing the best we can to maintain our client base. My retention right now as an agency is 96%, and industry is like 88% or lower. So it takes a little extra work to maintain the clients, but we're doing what we say we're going to do, and that's look out for people. And I mean, the car insurance thing, not to spend time on that because it's not relevant really to this room, but it's the easy stuff. Supply chain, it's been hindered. Cost of material hindered. One of the biggest things that maybe folks didn't realize is the amount of techs that left the industry during COVID and never returned. So lead times for car repair is months. And it's just driving cost up. And I mean, 2023, the insurance industry saw the most catastrophic claim amount in the billions than they've seen at any time in the last century that they paid out claim wise. That's leading to a dramatic increase. There's some specific things that led to the hard market is the severity of losses insurance companies have found that they've been dealing with. Their combined ratios, which is how much revenue they're taking in compared to how much they're spending out. A lot, if not most insurance companies are spending over 100% right now than what they're taking in. They're at 106, 110. There's a company out there based out of Pennsylvania that's at 122% loss ratio right now, that a lot of people traditionally would say their name, that would be synonymous with the best price. Changes are coming for them too. And then just again, supply chain disruption and cost of materials skyrocketing. And the results of a hard market are just premium increases, restrictions on coverage that insurance companies are offering, going to minimum deductibles, maybe 2,500 in certain situations, or higher wind prone areas, 1% deductibles. That's a percentage of what you're insuring the building for. 300,000 rebuild might be a 3,000 wind deductible. That's more coastal, not really York, Pennsylvania. And then just more scrutiny on property inspections. There was a time where companies were begging for me to put business with them. They're like just doing anything they can to grow. And so they were like, the roof's 25, looks good to us. Now it's like, hey, the roof's 15, is it in good shape? And so the cool thing about where we stand in this market is just keeping it simple. Is just the power of choice that we have. Just, for some, I just created that little collage of companies. And there's over 20 on there. And it's growing. We keep getting more and more contracts with companies, and that's to help manage the hard market we're in. If 10 aren't offering something, well, there might be 10 more that are. So is there something, did I do something funny in that? You just like that?
You're good.
Good. Because please shed light on my collage that I created. I just. All right.
I'll tell you later.
All right.
It's fine, but I'll tell you.
But the interesting thing is how many people are just calling me with the challenges that their buyers have getting insurance. And then we can help out. And so it's not really rocket science, it's just that we have a lot more options than a lot of people. And then real quick on the flood insurance front. This changed in 2021. If everyone's not familiar, FHA now is required to accept private flood insurance. I'm trying to collaborate with some people to find ways for previous, like as a value add for whether it's realtors or loan officers, to find out which, to get back in touch with some of your buyers that you might have helped in the past, or on the lender side, some of their old clients that had to buy flood insurance that had an FHA mortgage. Because before 2021, it was 100% private flood. And with private flood, the reason that went to flood risk rating 2.0 is because the private flood or FEMA collected $60 billion in revenue or in premiums and paid out 96 billion. So FEMA had to do something. They switched to risk rating 2.0 in October 2021. It just changed how they rate flood insurance, and they're just looking to generate as much revenue as possible to make up for that $30 billion gap. The cool thing is we have over 10 private flood insurers. And so for those of you that don't know, I can work with a lot of people in this room. I'm always throwing it out there as a service. If you're showing a property and it's in an A or AE zone, which is going to require that flood insurance, we can quickly run flood insurance map, flood zone determination, and quote all these companies, including FEMA, for a price on flood insurance without knowing anything about the buyer. So that's now home insurance is that client specific data, date of birth, name, some of that information we need, but flood, we can run that all day without having anyone's personal information. So feel free to reach out to me anytime that you need just a report on a property. But just helping people sometimes close the deal. If FEMA's 7,000 in flood insurance and we find it for 3,200, that's a huge difference. And the main reason that I'm here staying with you guys, again, just because we tailor our process to the real estate transaction, is fast responses to requests, helping your buyers find the most competitive rate, the best policy. And I know we work hard to do the best we can. It's not, we don't speak in absolutes. We're not winning stuff 100% of the time, but my close ratio right now is 77%. So pretty damn close. And just, happy to even help people understand stuff, even if it's not them buying insurance with me. Just anytime you have questions, reach out. Roxanne mentioned touching on roofs. That is part of that hard market we're in, the scrutiny that insurance companies have been placing on properties in the condition of them, with their underwriting inspections. AI, satellite imagery, Google Street View, all that stuff is coming into the insurance industry. It's actually in the insurance industry. Funny thing is, we have about 5 insurtechs that we work with. They tried to bypass me, the human insurance agent, and go straight to the market. And they lost millions trying to do it. And now we partner with all those insurtechs and distribute their product. But those insurtechs are the ones that are kind of leading the way on using that satellite imagery and AI. I have one company that's like 20 screens to go through to write a home policy, and an insurtech is one. And because they just know so much data already about stuff they're using. But you know, the roof conditions, they're able to see a lot of that through satellite imagery now. So we've been trying to navigate that we have other options for companies that are, you know, more lenient, but it's definitely a challenge that we're seeing.
Well, and on that same point, like, I'm gonna shout out to Tyler that he just helps my clients who were in a VA loan, and the insurance companies that loan officer used all rejected the roof because of a repair and an invoice that was submitted with the contract. And he was able to not only find them great insurance, but in their budget, so we could keep that deal moving forward and close on time. So huge shout out to you and a thank you, and Veterans United.
Yeah,
now
cool
has you
veterans.
as a-
I'm taking those guys out to the dairy bar in Spring Grove.
Yeah. They'll appreciate it. But that loan officer actually asked me if he could reach out to you and use you as a preferred vendor, and I was like, absolutely. So it was a win-win. Thank you.
So, 2 things. Tyler's sponsored too, by the way, producer Brain.
Me too.
Flood insurance in the house. You remember we had a discussion, or was there a discussion that having a house that's not in a flood zone doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't have some type of flood insurance.
Yeah, well, I like to always kind of throw that cliche thing in there as an insurance agent, that everyone's in a flood zone. It's just a matter of which one. X flood zones are what surround everything. When you're in an A or AE zone locally, you might get to some B zones closer to the shore. But 45% of properties that flood are in X zones that don't require flood insurance. So some of these folks that will reach out to me and say, hey, I'm listing this property. It looks like it's on the border from what I saw. I'll run the map and I'll still throw a quote back and say, yeah, it's not in a required flood, mandatory purchase zone. But here's flood insurance for $375. They may want to consider it. They're close enough.
So if your sump pump goes bad and flows into the house from the